a shot through a straw. I tell you, that's the worst experience ever. Ooh, my God. Ooh. What episode is this? Oh, I ain't heard this in a long time.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Chris. Welcome to the real world. Okay, get it out. Be a corner, man. Go on, Chris.
Harmonize.
Oh, okay. All right. Where you at, Nate?
I ain't got it. I don't, my sister listened to it, but I ain't know the words.
Huh?
So my sister listened to it, but I ain't know the words. I come in and hit the high notes just because I talk deep.
Ooh. Think before you let it go, nigga. Ooh. What?
I'm just playing.
Welcome back. Welcome back. We are the, what are we?
Unpopular Opinions.
Unpopular
Podcast. Okay, we are what Chris Hahn said, and you are hearing from your girl, J Hood, Janiqua, okay, professionally, and just all of the stuff known as. And let's not forget, National Goddamn Jam.
Yeah, she's a Jim Marie.
Jim.
Jim Beam.
All kinds of shit. Because these fools want to take it to a whole other level. But National Gym, you know what that is. Boom. And who do I have to the left? Who do I have to the left of me?
Chris Hahn. What's good?
Oh, okay. Hey Chris.
Hey.
Hey friend.
What the fuck?
Hey friend. And then on the right of me, who do I have?
Nate Deuce, what it do? You already know, man.
Hey friend, hey.
What? I felt like, what?
Yeah, I feel good.
Yeah,
I don't know.
What was that?
Is our intros not good enough for you?
Motherfucker, I'm the curator, so I can do whatever I want.
Straight.
Well,
Unless
I'm about to ask you what
unless
this is
that.
the Marcus.
No, that's true. I know you not talking because on the house party the other night, did he not?
Yeah.
Because first of all, where's your results at?
I'm not smoking.
I didn't see any.
I didn't see you smoking nothing.
All I know is you sound like this.
Yeah.
Now,
where your results at?
I'm smoking strong, man.
Listen, man.
It made me cough.
Anything now, you're gonna die. That's what they do.
Man, listen, you see my eyes, man. Stop.
You got jaundice?
Oh, man, yo.
He look like
First of all, I think I'm a
here.
little old to have jaundice. Like, what?
No,
Are you a pediatrician?
I'm just
jaundice? At my age?
Yeah.
I'm concerned.
Anything over?
I wouldn't be a good friend if I wasn't
You
concerned.
look like the last dance.
Ooh.
You look real bad.
It's okay.
It's all right.
And look, y'all,
Hey,
I don't know if y'all can see, but this fool got this goddamn on.
Exactly. I'm referring my
This
section.
Reaper,
Like, legalize it. Man, please legalize it. North Carolina. I know we in that Bible Belt.
Ooh. And his
You know what I'm
publicist
saying? The herbs
said
from the earth.
that he looks like, she told him to do it,
Yeah.
saying that he looks like a 32-year-old rapper.
We're not gonna down talk my.
I ain't know.
No,
what
I
you gonna tell all
would
the
never
business.
down talk my bestie.
I ride it down.
I ride for this shit.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway.
She spoke against it, but that's my. You can see how strong I feel about it. I wore it even though I was advised not to. Like, it's legalize it, please. It ain't hurting nobody.
Legalize it.
Ain't nobody never overdosed from this. You know it. Tell me one case.
Well, we're not going
Tell me one
to,
case.
you know what, because that could be a whole nother unpopular
It could
opinion.
be.
Because
But tell me one case.
I don't really care for it.
You know what my opinion is.
I know what your opinion is.
I've been rocking with Snoop since infant.
Anyways.
What?
Well,
It went over your head.
No, it didn't.
So, look. As we take it back to the song, good job in the selection of the sex song by Like Friends. As we bring it back to that, disclaimer, y'all, audience, viewers. So you don't think something's wrong with me. I got a little lisp. I got a little difficulty in my articulation right now. I just got braces, Invisalign, okay, because I ain't walking around with no
Okay.
But it makes it a little bit hard. It makes it a little bit difficult to articulate myself. So don't be out there trying to clown me because
you sound like T.I. right now.
No, she keep sucking her teeth.
I'll be doing this all night.
Yes.
So that's me.
Good,
That's
though.
me. Just put it out there. Also, another disclaimer. You hear music outside. They are over there parlaying, partying.
The world has opened again.
Yeah, phase 3.
At least till 12 o'clock. So just putting that out
We
there.
in North Carolina, y'all. Some places is a little different. Some places ain't got here yet. But where we at, they, like, I think a week ago, I believe.
Last Friday or something like
Last
that?
Saturday, I think, they went to phase 3.
Friday,
which,
5 p.m.
Bars, movie theaters, and clubs are now, like, full-fledged. So, I mean, not full-fledged. They can only hold a certain capacity, but as of right now, that's going on right outside.
And they still closing at 12.
Shout out to the spot over there.
They-
Like, they getting
One hour
in.
later.
They still closed early because the liquor didn't change.
True story.
The liquor time frame, it still shuts down at 11. So.
True story. One of our very own, aka Chris Hine, aka DJ Low Key. You know what I'm saying? He got into some unfortunate situation legally, and when he called me, you know what I'm saying? He was a real G about his.
Was that this week?
Nah. This was years ago.
Oh,
Stop.
I knew about to say when this came
This
out.
was a flashback from, decade back. You know what I'm saying? Young Chris Hine.
Chris, you ain't said nothing.
Nah. Young Chris Hine out here wilding, and he got into an altercation, and, legally he called me, basically get him out. And got him out, and he decided that night, that spot that you hear in the background, that's where he was at. Living his best life. Like,
living his best life. Shout
out to Chris Hine. He went by himself, by the way. That's what I'm saying is, because that's some stuff you never do. Like, you just get out. Yourself, you get out. You fresh out, and I'm going to go to what you about to do, Chris? I'm about to go downtown to this spot. And he was there, chilling.
Looking stupid.
Nah, he got stupid. He got it together. He right here.
But I will say this. Because we done got off track. He gave you some kudos there, but then he also said you were stupid at the same time.
That's true.
I
don't know how to
so,
do
good selection of the song.
Thank you.
However, y'all know I come through with something that y'all may not like, but I'm just going to say it anyways. So, did y'all watch the movie Cuties, like I told y'all to?
Unfortunately.
Hey, forget you, yo.
I was really upset the whole time with you. For 1 hour and 36 minutes, I was upset.
Yes.
So I'm gonna say this, and I know people ain't gonna like to hear this.
It's the worst thing ever.
But
this is the most
the
movie we ever had in our life.
Cuties on Netflix, I thought was actually good.
Do we have a blue sound?
And no, and it was just very powerful, and I'll tell you why.
I'm gonna do it
Because so. Good in a different kind, like good, it's good is different. Good is different for everyone. I think it was good.
It is different for everyone.
I think good. No. Bad is different for some. Your bad is not the same as my bad.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. No,
worse.
it's not. So
bad
what? So let me explain.
Go ahead,
the reason I felt the movie was good is because it did what it was supposed to do. No, it did what it was supposed to do. It brought light to the hypersexualization of pre-adolescent girls.
Okay.
And the fact that these girls, especially the one black one, because this is more in the French, somewhere in Europe.
You don't know because French people are all in Africa.
But
so
listen, I said somewhere in Europe.
Somewhere in Eastern.
That's why I just said somewhere in Europe, and that's their dialect French. However, it brought to that, and that young lady was also dealing with the fact that she was trying to struggle between traditional values and the internet culture.
Yeah.
That's what kids deal with right now, and I think it brought light to that. I felt like it brought light to that, for especially adults to see that this is what little girls go through, and when you see a lot of the stuff that, little girls are watching these things. They are really into, just like we were into the people, the rappers and the singers and all that, and we wanted to embody that, and that's what they're doing. So I thought it brought a message that it was supposed to. Now, was it a lot for people to see? Yes. People are scared to talk about sex with their children, so,
I'm going to defer to me. I got a lot to say, so I'm going to just let you go ahead.
Okay.
I just felt it was a bit excessive. And I think that's what all the controversy is saying. I'm not trying to whisper. Because, like, you don't want to tell nobody you saw this movie. I'm just saying.
Why?
Like, when Janiqua, I'm
just like in therapy, as a therapist, like, I have difficulty with parents being afraid to teach their child penis and vagina. What's wrong with teaching your child the appropriate terminology for a body part? Because if they go to court and say coochie and cookie and Peter,
then it seems naughty. You right.
No, it don't. It ain't the anatomical correct. It ain't the anatomical correct word. So everybody don't say cookie is vagina.
Okay.
You know, so you have to teach your kids these things, and people are always. Our culture is so afraid to have this conversation with kids.
So
now, I can see how it was excessive because it brought little kids
Allow me to answer your question.
But go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, you got it. Because I get it. You feel very strongly about this, and as a woman, I honestly feel indifferent. Chris, I don't know. You got something to say? Because
it's not a woman thing, though. Like, it's not. There was a lot of unpopular.
It's funny. You called me. I hadn't seen it yet. I had started watching it. I fell asleep, and you was like, but when I was watching it, I wanted to call you. Yeah. And I felt like that's why you called me.
Yeah, because I couldn't do it by myself.
So it's not a woman thing because there's a lot of women that don't agree with me.
Let me explain. As a man, this was the most uncomfortable hour and a half of my fucking life.
Yeah.
I personally did not feel comfortable watching this movie, but that's the whole time, Janiqua, nobody was with me. I was alone. I'll put that on my life. I was in the living room by myself.
Thank you.
And I was talking out loud. I said, if I didn't fuck with Janiqua, I would never fucking watch this shit in my damn. Like, Janiqua, this movie was not very easy to take in. But I get what you're saying. There was a message there. But when it comes down to what we saw on Netflix, like, and they were supposed to be 11, right? So
11 years old.
11-year-olds doing what they were doing. Man, I watched this movie in a perpetual state of anxiety because my greatest fear was that this little girl is gonna get raped. That's my greatest fear of having a girl, I think, personally. It is like if something like that goes down. And it was like she was in so many situations where it could have went down and she didn't know. Like you said, she was just what she saw on social. I get it. It happens. But, man, do we got to look at this? Do you got to put that image in somebody's head?
So the message worked.
No.
It did. It worked because now it induced a different perspective for you.
And dreamed about it.
So if you had a girl, if you had
I was about to say is that night, maybe I had plans. Maybe I was going to go. Maybe I was going to hit somebody up.
Yeah,
no,
but it did
its job. Because if you have a little girl, you are going to think a lot different about how you allow her to view certain things.
I'm still scared for this little girl in this movie. I don't even know her. Yeah. I don't know her name.
Because the movie ended stupid, so we don't know what happened.
We don't know what happened.
All right.
Her neighbor got his phone back. She did. You see what she did with his phone right before she threw it out. It was in his phone.
I don't see the difference between us watching movies where domestic violence is the message or sexual abuse is the message, and we watch it so like it's nothing.
I'm gonna give it a credit.
So I don't understand. It did its job. Like
no, for pedophiles, because I mean, I understand.
Well, it highlighted what we need to understand about our children in the internet culture and how it impacts our children and how we need to be mindful and actually take into perspective what our children are feeling and thinking rather than pushing our views on them. Help them understand, because if you saw the mom, she wasn't helping her understand life. You know, she was just like, this is what we're going to do. This is what you can't do. Yeah. And at the end result, she still did what she wanted to do. But had she had mom now, granted, not saying that mom did anything wrong, because that is their traditional views over there. That's how they move over there. That is their culture. Damn, that was so difficult to say.
Yeah.
But however, you know, each generation changes on how they view life, and like just because our generation didn't push back on stuff or we didn't evolve and where we were doing the things that we saw, this generation is a little bit different, and the generation after that, and the generation after that. So if we don't open ourselves up as adults and parents to have this conversation with our kids, like, I get it, baby, you see these things on TV. I understand that. Maybe even sitting down watching it with them to help them understand, like, this can be the end result of X, Y, Z. We just push this. We push our thoughts on them as if it's going to stick, and that's not how it works because it didn't always stick with us.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I think it brought light to what it was supposed to. A little uncomfortable, but it brought light to it.
I'm gonna let you finish, but this was the worst movie of all time.
Oh my God!
Of all time.
Of all time.
It wasn't all
Listen, this movie was written, directed, and produced by R. Kelly.
No, it was not.
I believe you. I'm not even gonna check that.
Y'all looked at the credits.
No, it was not. It was written by a French lady.
Kelly.
It was written by a black lady.
No.
Nah, like you had to be what? Like what?
I have a few.
She did her job.
No, most importantly, whose parents allow their kids to do this?
First of all,
that was the worst parenting ever seen in the world.
Most strict, their most
like,
harshest reviews are American reviews. Not
even
like that over there.
Why did you
allow? And they have a lot more sex trafficking over there.
Right.
Probably.
You're right, but
that's why taking took place.
But that is their perspective. But that is their perspective.
Why did you
allow
your
sex
daughter?
If
this is violent out, they ring the bell.
But we have sex trafficking. We have sex trafficking here, and we're just getting privy to that, and we are just starting to combat that.
I have a few questions.
I think it did its job.
I have a few questions for you. First of all, why did she try to kill the fat girl and then not finish the competition at all? That's stupid. Second question, why did she take a picture of her vagina and just send it out to the world? Nobody wants to see that. I got another question. Why are her parents not ever around? She has a daddy, a new mama, and an auntie, and nobody is looking out for this little girl. Fourth question, why is this little girl's head never done?
Again,
Fifth question.
That is America. That is what kids are dealing with in America.
The other girls,
yes,
hair was done.
absolutely. But that is what kids deal with in America. Lack of supervision is a whole form of abuse in itself.
At the competition, there were people that were clapping, and there were people that were shaking their heads. They should have just cut off the music. And why are they biting on their fingers? That's not sex.
Because they're kids. Kids bite on your fingers.
No, she was doing it to be sick. What are you talking about? She was doing.
I think it's because you don't have.
Sexy way.
Yeah, it's. I think for males, it's uncomfortable for you all to see that.
Yes, what?
Again, let me finish.
Think?
It's uncomfortable for females, but for you all, anything sexual that is uncomfortable. But just with people, anything sexual is uncomfortable.
Janiqua, we don't have to do a close up on the dance moves that were promiscuous though. We didn't have to do a close up.
Yes,
because did the same message without showing
Yes,
that.
it was excessive. Yes, I will agree it was excessive. Right. However, I still agree that it did its job. In the movie, it was good for me because it did do its job.
Would you show that?
It brought a lot of light.
Would you watch
I
that
would show with my child. I would watch that with my child. And at the same time, educate. Because if you saw the end.
I saw it.
It did make sense. That little girl was up there.
That girl was dancing. That glitter fell, and then she ran the jump rope.
And she ran home to her mom, asking her mom, "I'm sorry. I don't understand." Like she still ran home to her mom. But that's what she felt. Like it was.
We don't know that.
It was a lot to her.
Yeah, she felt that.
That little girl knew.
I get it.
She was already combating.
At this point, your vagina's on the internet.
Right.
It hit her.
You in this super dance competition. You probably won.
Hypersexual.
They didn't even say if she won. That's what pissed me off the most.
That's the issue. That's what kids go through. That is the message.
When did they go
it
through
is
the
not about
semifinals?
winning or losing. The message was that this is what your young girl.
When the girl, when she didn't make it.
But see, y'all are taking a hold of just aspects.
No.
Take the message.
The message is nasty.
The message
is, I never want to see this again.
The message is very vulgar.
Listen.
But the message did its job. I bet you won't allow your little girl to be out there watching anything. I bet you supervise your little girl.
I bet you I won't let her watch Cuties.
I bet you let her
Because
supervise your child.
Thinking, hey,
I bet you supervise your child.
I will, but I was going to do that anyway.
I bet you have open dialogue with your child.
The whole time
I was going to supervise my child more than these 5 Africans.
Not everybody does that.
No. And it was like,
now if everybody did that, the child maltreatment rate wouldn't be as high as it is.
I was so pissed off.
In America.
Me personally.
In America.
I was never going to let my child just walk the streets and dance.
You wouldn't, but America also has high child maltreatment rate.
I get what you're saying.
So
in America,
somehow we gotta get the picture.
Listen, I get what you're saying. America do be tripping on certain stuff. That's why Michael Jackson's version of They Don't Really Care About Us, where he was showing the prison, got banned. You feel what I'm saying? Because he was breaking shit down in a real way.
Absolutely.
And
message.
This is a very real movie. Mm-hmm. Like, if you're not ready for it, don't not watch it because it is real. But what I'm saying is, how does, like, the logic of the movie, how do you go from dancing to what she was watching in her shirt at church?
Don't take the little aspects of the movie out. Like, if you take every little bit and piece, you're not going to understand them. If you take from the beginning,
past that at that point, that's
but you
two
think
different
about
types of
their
dancing.
culture. Listen to their culture. She is combating traditional values of being presented as this lady, as her aunt was trying to make her be.
Right.
And her mom had to go see her father marry a whole nother bitch that she didn't want to do, and she also saw her mama.
That's what they
depressed,
do over there, though. If that was normal
but
to you, it would
that
be
is
such
just
a
how
big
we
thing.
are. We go against the values of some of the values that our parents raised us on. We don't just stick with everything that our parents raised us on. We question it.
Right.
We question it, and at some point we may come back to it. Just like religion, you start off with Christianity because your parents make you go to church every day, and then as you grow older, you question it. We went through that phase, did we not? We questioned it.
And then,
but you didn't. However, you still questioned it. You still went against your family views, and then you came back. Okay? You came back as a later adult. After you lived your life, you made your mistakes, you experienced what you experienced.
Let me, from my personal experience, the Christians that I grew up with are just as bad as me because they was all doing fuck shit Monday through Sunday.
Right.
And then Monday through Saturday, and Sunday morning they holier than thou. It's the same shit.
But you take an 11-year-old mind
right.
and say she sees this in her household, but she also sees on the internet all the clout, all the fame, all the glory that this one or two celebrities, whoever she's seeing is getting all this. She wants this. Yeah. She wants to feel good because she's being bullied. That's right.
But that's also part. That's an issue itself. Then we could avoid this.
But that's also a message in the movie. Like, that lack of supervision, that lack of communication with your child makes a difference. However, at the end, when mama stood up for her, when auntie was talking shit, like, this is not how we are supposed to be, and she told her to back the fuck off her daughter and said, you don't have to go, and I love you, and hugged her, that's what that little girl remembered. However, she didn't have that throughout that. Mom was also struggling with her own shit. Well, she was also struggling with the fact that her ex-husband is marrying somebody else, and she probably don't even agree with that cultural view.
I think that's a bigger issue.
But that's the movie's design. It was to bring light on so many messages, but everybody got caught on the excessiveness of it, which I get.
You could have shot the movie better then. If you can't get past the images.
I have an unpopular opinion that, well, probably not unpopular opinion, but the whole, when I was looking into it, I found out about the whole Texas case, about the whole situation, and how they're trying to sue. But really, who does that benefit?
This is a whole, now that Texas stuff is all political.
Exactly,
that's some political
because
stuff.
What they're talking about is compensation of what they say, up $20,000.
Yeah, like,
then it could double with something. But
what does that have to do with the kids that's affected?
It goes to Texas, right? It goes to that little county.
Like, all 50 states saw this movie.
That is some kind, right, exactly. And that's what I was thinking, like, what's really going to happen if they win this? Like, I get what they're saying. Yeah. Like, maybe they shouldn't have shot it so raw. Or maybe they shouldn't have showed it in America.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
I
you
think
said,
it should have been shown in America. I think it needed to be shown in America. Maybe not so excessive.
We can't take it. Because there's really some sickos out there that feel this.
That's
like the guy, the security guard.
But if you don't teach your kids,
security guard though, let's talk about him.
So let me say this.
Exactly.
As a psychotherapist in trauma-focused cognitive behavioral therapy, there is a psychoeducation portion, okay? Mm-hmm. And we teach our kids and our caregivers about sexual education points, right? And other aspects of boundaries and consent. We teach that.
11, though.
Yeah, you teach this shit as young as 3. This ain't no game. You need to teach your kids because you keep shielding them from the world. The world is going to come regardless. It is. It's shielding them. I even watched American, what's this thing on Netflix? It was a All-American.
Yeah.
And the father, Tay Diggs, didn't teach his black son about how police brutality is for black men, and his ass got pulled over and thought he was a white man, and he's a teenager. He's damn near 11th, 12th grade, and Tay Diggs respond, no, it's not different, because we want to shield our kids. There's nothing wrong with that. But in the same breath, we still forget to educate them on this world.
It's 2 different things to me.
It is the same, because they're all tough topics that we as a people don't want to talk about. We're so scared to talk about
black
this.
People scared to talk about sex with their kids?
Man, the way our culture works is we're not talking about certain things. We're not talking about stuff that pertains to our household. We're not talking about our sex. We're not talking.
I feel the way I feel. We're not talking about.
We're not, and we should. And there's no real statistics behind it. But I also feel like there's a lot of sexual abuse.
I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying we're not talking about it.
In our
Your
family.
mom isn't talking about it, but me and you, Nate, our dad sat us down and showed us things.
Yeah.
Before we needed to. Right? Which goes to, that's a whole different story. But I'm just saying, I think they don't talk to women.
Something gonna come up and you're gonna say what you got.
I can feel that.
But men, it's a rite of passage for us to have sex as quick as possible.
Which it shouldn't be. It ain't healthy.
It's not healthy. It's
I think just have a conversation. Yeah, it's a whole other toxic ass pattern.
And he act like, yo, I popped my condom box last night and used one, and you gonna be like, that's what's up.
But what about the conversation before he even thought about the condom box?
Nah, that's what he's saying. Like,
what about the conversation about sex? Y'all not having that conversation until a certain age where dad feel like you should be having sex, but dad should have a conversation before you should be having sex. So when you do have sex, you know what the hell you doing.
My first date, my dad texted me and said, "Are you still dry?"
There you go. 6 years old.
Shout out,
man. No,
I'm just saying. Like,
it's a whole different.
I mean, like developmentally, there's an age where kids are starting to touch themselves and feel and understand and explore their body as early as grade school. That's elementary, y'all. No, and we still scared to have these conversations.
No,
that don't make no sense.
As soon as they're aware of themselves, you should have the conversation.
You should have the conversation.
It's hard to tell that.
I mean, it is hard. It's a very tough
because you get aware of yourself by yourself. Like,
well, not even just that.
I just felt the feeling.
Not even just that. Like, we are just, how can I say, what's the word? We are trained to not have this conversation. This conversation is inappropriate. In our culture, that's how we are trained. You still can't even have sex conversations with your people as grown as hell as we are now.
How do you feel about that? Like, when are you going to have that conversation with your boys?
I mean, it's come up separately for different reasons.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's an individual thing, I feel. It's no certain point. Like, when it happens, you just got to jump in front of it. Because you don't know when they're ready. You know what I'm saying?
So do you just be proactive?
I think we should be proactive.
What age do you think you should sit them down?
And then you also need to think about how you present it. Like, you're not going to have a conversation with your 7-year-old son, like, son, you're going to bust a nut, da-da-da. You're going to change how you have the dialogue. Just when I'm educating a 6-year-old, I educate a 6-year-old different than I educate a 13-year-old. I use different dialogue. That's just it. We just need to stop being afraid to have the conversation. Because if you think about the little girl on the movie where she blew up the goddamn condom, she ain't know no better. That was lack of education. That was lack of sex education.
Yeah.
She knew no better.
Parents on this movie.
Yeah,
you know,
like, no
but
lie.
there was so many messages in this
like,
movie,
this whole
and everybody
movie.
honed in on the fact that they were hypersexualized. Yeah, they were fucking hypersexualized. But what about the kids that are here now that are hypersexualized? Is no fucking problem. We go to the store and their clothes is very scanty and skimpy. There's booty shorts and the fucking in a size 6 for little girls.
I'm upset with that though because the parents be with them, and they be wearing shirts with no pants. Like they look like they out here with no pants on.
But that's absolutely in America. At least they tried to hide. They had to hide that shit.
I'm just saying. Like,
I'm not saying it's solely America, but that's what we do. That's what we do.
I don't see it on the black side so much, but white women be with their daughters.
I see it on the black side.
And they're scantily clad.
The hairstyle be scanty. Everything be scanty. Like we just because it's cute. It's cute. I'm just saying.
I recently stumbled
it's cute
across some
in
stuff
our mind,
on
not
YouTube.
me. My child still dresses appropriate at 7. I'm still debating on when to put weave in her head. Like and she's 7. Mm-hmm. Like I'm still trying to figure out what's the appropriate age for her to have weave with her braids because I'm always concerned. Like I never, and I know my child, you know, like, but I also talk to my child.
It's a thin line though, because if you shield them too much, they're gonna wild out as soon as they get away from you. If you expose them too much, they might enjoy what you're telling them.
So you can't stop that though.
Right.
That's the problem as us as parents. You can't stop that. We are so busy trying to shield our children from things that we have no idea is going to happen. If they want to smoke weed, they're going to smoke weed. Right. If they're going to have sex, they're going to have sex. Yeah. It's nothing that you did to push them that way by educating them. I'd rather I educate you and you make your decision and you experience than me never having said a word.
Your unpopular opinion that this movie is great education.
I think it was a good education,
I feel like
powerful movie.
I'm gonna know if my daughter's in a 6 competition though.
Like, I know I'm gonna know my daughter's in a 6 competition, but
when they were throwing the water on her, I was like, "What is happening?" But yeah.
So I also unpopular opinion. Maybe you'll agree with me. Everybody should have 2 wives, 2 wives.
I ought to slap you right upside your head. Like I ought to but I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna do it.
Why can't it be?
No. I think that whole thing was stupid. I'm just playing. Like,
well, if you have 2 wives, then I think even the 3rd one. Like I'm thinking about baby mamas now. Like, what do you think about baby mamas?
So I saw that on Instagram the other day. It was like whoever 3rd, 4th baby mama is the dumbest.
Why you say that though?
I didn't say it.
Why you think that though? Is that your unpopular opinion, nigga?
I mean, I feel like you could be smarter. Like you already seen.
But what if?
1, 2, and 3.
But what if though? Like what if even though you the 3rd baby mama? But what if you the 3rd baby mama and it really do work out for you?
I don't know nobody that has. I'm limited in my knowledge though, but I mean.
I don't think 3rd baby mamas is stepping into it like.
Yeah. Would you be the 3rd baby mama? Would you be the 4th?
I probably would end up being a 3rd baby mama at this point.
Dang. I'm sorry.
That's real.
I mean, my nigga has 2 kids.
Dang. But 2 different women?
2 different women.
Dang. You having another kid?
One day.
Dang. You stupid.
Oh my God!
What?
But I don't think I got into it thinking like I'm be better than the other 2. Like I'm better than the other 2 regardless. But I don't think I got into
3rd
it
time's
like
the charm. This
you know, like shit. Like
hey, unpopular opinion. I don't think.
Nigga, I'm sweating.
I don't think.
because you know you lying.
Unpopular opinion. I don't think 3rd baby mama is stupid.
No.
Shout out
right.
to all 3 of my
3.
baby mamas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm at a point where everything is smooth, everything is kosher. We all coexist.
That's a good thing.
And you know what I'm saying? It ain't no race. It ain't no, you know.
Ain't no race.
It's all about the kids, baby.
They all gonna get 18 one day.
Hey, you know, kids just need a dad.
So what that mean?
Regardless
I don't know.
of whoever else.
It sounds good.
But, you know, if you do find yourself in that situation, y'all nigga, kudos to you.
Hey, man. You are a strong, independent, not insecure woman.
The internet don't know about real life.
The internet don't know shit,
when you come across that guy and he already got 2 other baby mamas,
yeah,
what are you supposed to do?
But I'm also looking at patterns too, because if I'm gonna end up being the third baby mama and his pattern is to fucking leave, you know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to be the third baby mama. But if there's a pattern of long-standing relationships and it just didn't work, then you know,
right? That's
not. I'm just saying. But I ain't getting with somebody being the third baby mama and it don't make no sense because you done hop from bitch to bitch. Like, you was with her 2 weeks and had a baby. Yeah. You know, and then you don't even fuck with her. Like, you don't even fuck with the child. Like, no, that's not me. But
those guys are crazy.
Those guys are crazy, aren't they now? Aren't they stupid? I don't know. But anyways, when we was talking about cuties, it brought up some other stuff for me. Like, I am one of those people that, and I don't know, this might be the therapist side of me coming out, but I hate the fucking statement of what happens in this house stays in this house. And I tell you why. I saw something. Well, I have been felt like that because I just truly believe a lot of shit happens in the house and it needs to be said, especially in our black community. Yeah. It will save a lot of trauma and a lot of effects of trauma that children endure. But I saw something that says, why do family members and parents accuse the children of lying about abuse? What happens in this house, stay in this house, is toxic. Yeah. Because, and there's also been so many incidents that I have listened to where a little girl has been sexually abused, and typically sexual abuse is not done by a stranger, it's done by a family member or close friend or someone close. And they finally muster up the courage to tell their mother or some other adult, and that motherfucker does not do their job with supporting and nurturing and believing that child. There's a lot of incidences where the mother is like, it was your fault. Right. Or you trying to steal him from me. Shit, stupid shit like that.
We all saw
stupid shit like that. Yeah. You know, so I am a firm believer that, you know, man, if shit is happening in your house and you can't tell it, it's probably toxic. I mean, it's probably toxic, and you don't need to be there. I'm not one that believes in putting a child through abuse.
I agree with you on the sexual abuse and like anything of that nature, but like finances
is different.
And what's going on with like my parents, if like they're going through a divorce or they're struggling, or my sister's having, like, I think there's levels to it.
And I think there's levels to it.
But some stuff should stay private.
But most of the stuff people saying when they make that statement is on some abusive shit. Like, it's on some shit that shouldn't be happening.
Of course you're gonna say this is gonna stay in this house, cause if you the chick and your dude is molesting your daughter, right? Terrible example, but I'm sorry.
I get it.
But you're gonna, nobody needs to know that in your brain, right? Because then he's going to jail. You have to admit it to yourself that your dude is a pedophile.
Right.
Your daughter's gonna be maybe looked at funny.
And that is toxic.
You know, I agree.
That's my opinion.
That's my
when
thing
we
too.
continue to hold this notion, we're embedding this shit in our children's mind that they should never be able to share shit that's happening to them. Okay? Because even domestic violence, I think people don't realize how powerful that is to a child to witness. Even though they're not being abused, it's very powerful for a child to witness that. And I think it's not that people choose to go through that. I think people have their own shit going on, but it's also powerful for the child too. Right. And when we hold in that notion that what happens in this house stays in this house, shit, we could have saved somebody.
Well, we could have saved both the child and the parent. I look at it this way. I mean, you looking at the worst possible scenarios. I get it. There are bad scenarios where people try to force
but that's most of the time
to
when
say
the
they on
context
ass.
is used.
But nah, I mean, you gotta think about today's world. Like, everybody posting everything on social media, man. Like, it's certain people out there, you know what I'm saying, family and not family, where I learned certain stuff through social media, and they like supposed to be close to me, and it's like, bruh, like, how you not tell somebody something before you put it out there for the rest of the world to know? Like, there is no, I'm not going to say like a secretness, but there is no sacredness anymore as far as we're going to keep this sacred in our household. This is our business. Let's say you know, and I can take it to the worst of the worst situation, like you saying, where there is a situation where there is some foul play happening or whatever. Let's say they come to that parent and they like, all right, I'm going to take care of it. And they actually do take care of it. Like Chris said, they may not want it to be broadcast to everybody else because it's like, I'm handling it and I don't need people looking at you in this way. And in a way, they're protecting that person too. But allow me the opportunity to handle everything and protect you and keep that sacred between us because everybody makes mistakes. Bad things happen sometimes, unfortunately. But you shouldn't have to live an alternate lifestyle just because of that. You get what I'm saying? So, not saying that you should keep it a secret, but you should have that choice growing up as to if you want to share that with somebody or not. Not just because it's the thing that everybody does, but if it's something that makes you feel better, okay. But so not
that's
just,
what I'm saying. Let it be an option for people. The statement is so heavily
but
used
I'm saying
in our
the
culture.
first option should be keep it inside
I don't
and let us
think
handle it inside as a group.
As a person that is big on
for
kids, as a person that's big on kids, first of all, it's so many dynamics dealing with abuse and other things in a family. It is hard.
But listen to
it's
what
hard.
I'm saying, though.
And a lot of times, nothing gets done.
I get what you're saying, but I'm saying, like, what I just said was, if you hear some stuff for the first time through social media, like, imagine something happened to your kid, God forbid, something, and you, first time you hear about it is on their social media, you're going to be upset. Like, you didn't come to me.
But
and
then you gotta ask yourself a question about why your kid didn't tell your ass.
I'm not saying whether you're scared. I'm saying the situation might have been.
But you gotta ask yourself, why did your child think it was okay to do that and not have that conversation?
But that's society now. It's not even thinking to yourself. They got friends at school, man. It's so many situations where your kid is picking up stuff that you are not around.
Because our culture taught them to not say shit.
I'm just saying, at school, at daycare.
Because our culture taught them not to say anything.
They're around somebody else. And this is what everybody's doing now with social media.
But that's
they broadcasting
their life. Comes in. Because our culture tells us not to do it, kids are rebelling now. They are seeing that shit is toxic. It's not healthy. They are tired. Right. So now, if they do confess it to social media and take it to the extreme, it is what it is because they didn't feel that they were able to confess it to their parents. But so they didn't think that it was able to tell another adult.
Like Chris said, it's a lot of backlash that's going to come with that too.
Who cares?
As an immature person, they may not understand those consequences and repercussions when they do it.
But if they're getting abused,
I'm just saying. Whereas that's what I'm saying. I'm speaking about as an adult in a situation where you're going to handle it. You get what I'm saying? And you're going to comfort them. They don't know certain things, so now they done put everything out there not knowing, okay, like, for instance, I can use this as an example. Like you said, there's certain situations where you talk about sex with your kids. One of my kids is young and sex came up because of something that he did. It got broadcast, and me and him talked about it, and he told me that he had certain friends that stopped hanging with him. And he didn't know, like, he thought it was his fault. And I had to break it down to him and explain, you know, they probably went and told their parents, and what you did was really too advanced for your age group, man. Like, you get what I'm saying? So, of course, as a concerned parent and adult, I'm not going to want my child associated with that. Yeah. But he didn't understand that until I had that conversation. The way it affected him, up until that point, I asked him this. He didn't come out and tell me this. Let's get that straight, too. So he was bottling this up, and this was, you know, no disrespect, you know, whatever, I understand, but this was his parents' decision to post this and broadcast this on social media, which affected his life in a certain way that he didn't understand.
That's the parent making a decision to post about their kid, not the kid deciding, hey,
But it would be the same effect. It would be the same effect if he had a social media and he thought that was the thing to do and posted it, and then his friends had to kind of take off.
But that probably wouldn't have gone that far because the parents ain't following that little boy. Just
that's what I'm saying. I would advise him not to put that out there like that because those things might happen.
That sucks.
And that's realistic.
That really sucks that your son was affected in that manner. It really does. Yeah. It absolutely does.
It's cool.
And in the same breath, you can't control anyone else's truth. Whether it be social media or another adult or whatever, that is their truth.
Yeah.
We can't control that.
That was his business.
That's his. Because if
that's
it
how
affected him, that's his
if he was getting molested, though, which isn't happening, but if he was getting molested, then he should totally feel free.
Yeah.
To say, hey,
you need to cry out that way.
Yeah,
right.
This is fucked up.
I get you.
Because we don't know what's going on in that household. You know what I'm saying?
But I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Allow the inside the opportunity to fix it before you cry out to everybody in the whole wide world. And then you have that other person looking like they not handling their responsibilities. Like, come to me first.
But
before
if I don't
come
feel
to them.
safe, right? If I go to my parents.
Yeah, I agree. Dude.
Like
I agree.
If I'm whatever parent is messing with me and I go to the other one and I know they're going to protect the other one, then where do I go? Right?
You ain't got any options.
I got to go outside the house because I'm not safe here.
That's true.
So. And that's my issue with that statement. Like, we just need to an extent, we need to teach our kids, have the conversation. Like, let me know what's going on. But that statement in itself is just very toxic. It is not helpful and it's not conducive to teaching our children to, to speak their truth. Even though it may go against the grain of what we feel and what we were brought up as, because we were brought up differently. But you're not teaching them how to communicate themselves.
Hey, I feel that not communicating that sacredness, though, leads to, the power.
But I think
that we watching now, we looking at power and there ain't no ghost because his son killed him because it ain't no.
But they ain't never have no real conversation with Tariq either. That's the problem.
He went to outside sources before he went to his dad.
Your kids will not go outside if they feel like they are able to talk to their parents.
Like he could talk to him.
Ghost was out there selling drugs and being a fucking asshole, and I like Ghost. I love Ghost.
He was making money,
and he was more focused on everything.
We talked about this a long time ago, Chris. Either you gonna make money. Or you gonna have time to do a whole bunch of stuff.
He could have time to talk to his kids.
You can't have it both ways.
He had time.
He did as much as he could.
I don't think so.
No, he didn't do as much as he could. He was so busy trying to move to Miami with Angela and spend that life like he had.
He was focused on Angela.
He was focused on other things.
His mind was on vagina, which we talked about in previous podcasts. Like, you will ruin your life for vagina. But at the same time, Tariq was also stupid and they should have just sent his ass to jail.
And I think that goes into another thing that I was discussing.
Yeah, but like that's just good parenting.
I think that goes to another thing I was discussing with my guy. If you think about the generational changes, we were brought up in a way that, we learned certain things from our family on how to be an adult, like how to live. Maybe not, budgetary skills and all those things.
You watch and you pick up things.
Because they didn't really learn that. Right. But if you think about it, if you see the kids today, they're so fucking entitled. They're so entitled.
Yeah, they're born
and that's because black and white. That's because
I got my first cell phone when I was in high school.
I feel like it's because as parents we remember what we went through. We remember what we saw, and we don't want to put our kids through it. But we also forget to teach them the independent living skills that they need.
Think about us, and we just got here with our kids. And we look at the white people and like, why do you have the audacity that you do and everything that you do? It's because they've been on that.
They had that entitlement as a child, right? So, do you continue to oppress our children, or do you allow them to experience the same freedom at home that they should have as Americans, just like these other kids that are thriving?
Like my child, she gets. Like, I don't.
She is. You do.
Me.
You know what I'm saying?
And in the same
I agree, because I'm the same way with mine. Like,
I educate my child as well. Like,
they don't know this, but
sometimes I say, even though I know I can buy it, I'll be like, I ain't gonna do it.
Yeah, I say
and
no
I tell
first,
her why.
But if they press it hard enough,
we've
like, all right, man.
Gotten to the place where she learned and understood the value of donating. Like, she has tons of fucking toys and clothes and everything. And every season we make it our business to donate. And I had to help her understand the importance of donating. So if you don't educate your kids, you can give your kids the world. But if you don't educate them, they don't understand life.
But see, that's 100% true, because I think personally I have instilled in me hoarding. Not to say it in a crazy way, but I was instilled, take care of your stuff and don't let it fuck up. You can keep it forever. So I try to put that in my kids. Like, the toys I buy them, it's like, hey man, put this up so you can have it. And you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe it's worth some money when you get old or something, but at least keep it. But at the same time, what about the kids that are still not donating but selling? They probably grow up to make money. You feel what I'm saying? It all depends on how you put it in and what you put in.
I'm gonna raise my kids poor.
Shut up. Anyway,
teach them how to trade.
No, I'm just. They're not gonna know. They're gonna have 2 outfits.
I don't think your boo would like that. Anyways, I'm about to take this to a whole nother stupid level of stupidity that people may feel. But I just been feeling like this lately. Okay. Even though it had nothing to do with my real life. Disclaimer. So, the code of friendship and relationships, I think that need to be changed.
What?
Let me explain to you what I'm saying. If I dated old buddy back in the days, like if I dated old buddy like my senior year, like
of what? High school? Or
like senior year of high school maybe. Let's go there. Or maybe freshman year of college.
I mean, you old. So
freshman year of college. Freshman year of college. And my friend starts to date buddy.
My voice is high pitched. Maybe
that feel like
it
sounds like a lie.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like shit. Love is love. Like maybe he was meant for her and not for me. Mm-hmm. I think we put so heavily on that code.
You didn't care about these niggas anyway.
I know.
So it don't really matter.
But there was some niggas I did care. No, there was some niggas I cared. Like, okay, I give one specific. I give one specific. But now I give one specific dude.
Tell him off the bench.
I dated him throughout high school. And then throughout high school, and then a little bit into college, we broke up. So, a girl that was like one of my best of friends, she was fucking him back in high school. Now we beefed then because of that.
Wait! You telling us a real story?
Yeah, it sounds like something.
I thought you was gonna talk
about. Now it's over, and I feel like everybody's in a better place now. But
you was upset at the time.
This is high school. Definitely, I was upset. Okay, because she didn't tell me that.
Okay.
Now when me and this guy broke up in college. And I connected back with the girl again. I was like, you know what? We cool. Like, you know what? Fuck that. No. I was just like, we cool. I was like, as long as you don't do that shit in my face, I don't even care what y'all do.
Look, as you got him back though, you was the last one.
No. I mean, it didn't matter.
You was the last one with.
What's the time limit though? Like, so okay, you break up with your dude right now. Your best friend hollers at him 6 months later. And they together, are you gonna feel some type of way?
I might, but my best friend is nigga, so I hope y'all not dating.
Stop.
You know who the fuck we talking about,
right? Stop trying to play on words.
I probably would feel some type of way. You need to give a little time between the times.
What's
because
the time?
We might rebound.
What's 2?
We might rebound.
2 years. Wow. What's the time?
Yeah, how long?
Maybe
6 months is a long time.
2 years.
What was you doing 6 months ago?
6 months ago?
We was hoping COVID was going to end soon.
I know.
Now we know we living with it for the rest of our life. So 6 months is a long time.
No, it ain't long enough after I broke up with my nigga. No.
You still
still feeling some type of way.
So
I think it more so
we
depends.
might rebound.
I think it more so depends on the context of the relationship, personally.
But I mean,
if you was feeling this dude and you done told everybody about him, I think that's kind of off limits for a long time.
No,
versus this dude that you told me you hooked up with and we didn't.
I think you could like. If he wasn't for me, he wasn't for me. But I'm not gonna stop your ability to find love.
Me and Nate were roommates for a long time, and any woman that Nate put his penis in, I'm not touching. Regardless.
Oh, Chris. Oh, Chris.
Ooh, you
know where I'm going, right?
Damn,
you know where I'm going, right?
So, disclaimer.
It was 4 of us at one time.
Green light all the way.
It was 4 of us at one time.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
But that's not.
That's not the same.
Yeah.
That's not the same.
I thought you were going somewhere totally different.
No, you know. So that 4th person. Yeah.
Janiqua.
Yeah, you bring my shit out all the time.
So,
I'm coming for your ass.
So that was my point. That was still my point.
Can I talk to both?
Go ahead.
Can I talk to both situations? The first situation.
Yeah.
Nate talked to this female that was all our mutual friend. and he wasn't feeling her like that. I felt her more. They weren't in a relationship, and we were in our whole phase.
Not at all.
Okay.
Disclaimer. Right? And I talked to Nate, and I said, hey,
at that point,
how do you feel about this? And he said, nigga, I don't care.
Okay, the conversation is needed. The conversation is
green light, right? Boom.
Shoot it.
And then on the second situation.
Tell me more.
Or third, because I partake in this too. Like,
tell me more.
My friend was a legend.
My homie.
And he was
my brother.
He was a male national champ.
National champ.
Okay. And
some of us.
And I met my current love
of your life.
Of my life.
So,
and last love.
Hallelujah.
You know what I'm saying?
Shout out.
We love her. We love her. I love her.
Shout out your publicist. I never heard any conversations from my best friend about her. I didn't know this existed. Personally,
you are fucking lying.
I swear to God.
No.
I swear to God.
Hear him out. Hear him out.
I heard all the conversations.
Hear him out.
No.
Okay, tell me more.
No.
Because you came in late.
No, you came in sophomore with me.
You came in after this.
Okay, I came in sophomore year. Okay, you're right.
I worked with her at
Arby's.
Warsaw at Arby's.
And
she said, hey, you know I dated blah blah blah. At that time, me and
blah blah blah.
Yeah, we were cool, but we weren't best friends.
We can call it what it is.
We weren't friends with Young Mooch.
Y'all were still friends.
We were friends.
So how do you feel now, dating her now?
No, because
she was your friend?
and then we talked about it because the incident. The incident at homecoming.
That's where y'all missing everything.
Right.
I know the incident of homecoming.
No, everything was talked about.
No, listen.
Because I share another story, and we're gonna get into that afterwards.
Me and Young Mooch.
Right.
Young Mooch, please don't. We're not gonna speak.
We never spoke about my girlfriend.
Right.
I said, hey, he Facebooked me, and I showed her. I said, he was like, a word. And I said,
if you know this, you already know.
I know.
I said, yeah, nigga, fuck you.
Right.
And he said,
that's how we talk to each other.
LOL back. And we moved on.
See, but you don't know.
No, but the backstory is dramatics.
It is very dramatic.
And that's not the full. We can't even listen.
I'm just saying this ties into my unpopular opinion. I feel like the code need to change.
No,
because love is love. You see how I think the code need to change. It needs some revisions because
no. He came to me and he said, "Hey, I talked to your girl," and I said, "I'm talking to your girl."
And maybe the code is different from niggas and chicks. But us girls, us girls is like,
It was like, word.
Listen.
Right.
Listen.
Like, I got a card too.
Us girls are like, you cannot date somebody that I have dated.
Right.
I mean,
so maybe the code is different. But however, that's what I'm saying. The code needs to change. Not that you had a conversation. The code needs to change.
Females?
But you saying that and saying that in 6 months you would still feel some type of way. So why does
I know what I'm saying. I would feel some type of way, but I do think the code needs to change.
But look though,
like for us, the code is like ever. Like you don't need to be fucking with nobody ever that I dated. Okay, and for me, I'm just like there should be a time frame maybe or something because love is love.
But you're not the typical female.
Damn. Chris.
No, I'm saying like.
Louise.
No, I'm just saying you like. I've said this a bunch of times, but you're a savage. And most females loved every nigga they was with. You didn't.
Right.
I loved somebody.
Somebody in the mix, but a lot of them just rolled off in the ditch.
Right.
Like,
put them out of the window.
Make it seem that bad. I love very many of them.
But what we saying?
But we also know a friend group that the male went and talked to their exes unknowingly. Right? And it caused problems. But in our friend group, we spoke about things.
Yeah.
So are you saying that dialogue need to be had before?
Yes.
Okay.
Because without the dialogue,
that's part of the code. Conversation needs to be had.
You gotta have the conversation. Otherwise, we gotta fight.
Oh, fight me.
Yeah.
Listen, my situation personally with that was I was put on to this same person put me on to this friend.
This same friend of ours.
This same friend.
Boy, I tell you,
my
he
brother
shit,
from another mother, man.
He wasn't shit, but we loved him.
If you knew me, you seen him with me, so you already shout out Young Moose. Anyway.
Right. Oh,
yeah,
before you say that.
Yeah.
Wait, before you say that, I'm sorry. We got 2 more days before his anniversary. I was looking at the memories. This 10 years ago today, we was at homecoming.
Wow.
And then 2 days later.
2 days later, this is gonna air.
Yeah.
So shout out his anniversary. If y'all watching this on 1051live.com. Shout out Young Moose.
And if you know me, he written on my body. Only nigga that ain't my family. So go ahead.
My brother. But yo, he came to me about this female and he was like, yo, she feeling you. You should holler at her. Mind you, he told me his history behind whatever was going on with that situation. But this is why he my nigga, because when me and her talk about it now, and I ain't scared to say it, we got a kid together. Me and her talk about it now. Me and her talk about it now though. He approached her like, if you talk to this nigga right here,
he didn't give a fuck.
I might kill you.
Right.
Like,
that's what I'm saying.
It's crazy.
It's like the conversation that we had opposed to the conversation he had with the females is night and day.
Totally different things. But
that's how he
was. That's how he was though.
Brother, he was like, yo man, talk to her. Like he made me talk to her. Like he made me do it.
And
so
people, I know we probably are talking about
consent,
him
though.
and probably
I would have never did it had I known that.
The funniest perspective ever. Y'all probably like, he a shady ass nigga. But he was great. Like if you know him, like if you knew him, you would have eventually learned to love him. So I guess we're gonna segue into another part as we get ready to end. Like, so I can agree. Yeah, bitch, I'm gonna cut that off.
No.
What do you do?
Look at that. What the fuck is that?
What the fuck is that?
You a man. Poor that bitch.
Get some hair on your chest.
Chris would have been like,
But anyways, like as we get ready to end and we step into the 10-year anniversary of a really dear person to us, pretty much he was the one that he was the one that built this group. Like we wouldn't
I wouldn't have known him, I wouldn't have known you.
We wouldn't be a group now had it not been for him. He was on this earth for a reason. And he will never and has never, he will not be forgotten. So with that being said, we are going to say R.I.P. to our 4th member. If I hope a lot of you remember that there was a 4th one. R.I.P. Coop, Jamie Cooper, Young Mooch. We miss you dearly.
Jamie Cooper, Jr.
We have not forgotten you. We love you, and we just hope you up there laughing at us right now. Per usual. Talking about, I'm going to see a man about a horse because I have, Jamie, I definitely have.
That's how I met you. You
True.
brought a bicycle helmet.
Yep.
I definitely have, Coop, and your sister is doing big things, and I love you.
Honestly, man, if we ever even had like a half a doubt about anything about each other, like as far as beef-wise, he was the first one to step in and be like, yo, we all tight. So on that note, man, we always gonna ride together.
And also, happy World Mental Health Day.
There you go.
Happy World Mental Health Day. All right.
And that's up his attitude.
That's up his attitude for sure. R.I.P. And to that, episode 12, we done. Love, live, nigga, shit. We out.
Wow.
Whoo, shit.
Well, wasn't expecting to go there.
Whoa.
But good shit.
Yeah,
good shit.
That was really out of the ordinary.
We was talking about it, and then I was like,
I like it.
Yeah.
Really
I thought about it real bad.
I said it's gonna air.
I thought about it this morning. I was like, damn, we were at homecoming this year.
Yeah.
10 years ago.
We were in INT.
Wait, no, we were at your house.
I know. We
10
just
years
talked
ago.
about it.
I gotta take my damn shoes off. This next episode, I cried this morning about it. And then I looked at my arm, I was like, 2 days. Girl. You were trying to, girl, you know what? I didn't want to bring up that 170, huh? I didn't want to bring up that 170. violence.
Okay, so I wrote notes.
Yeah.
I wrote notes. So speaking on sex at a young age. All right, my son is 6.
Is it all? Because I don't
Oh,
know.
yes.